So, previous time, girls, remember when we discussed the SAT SAT test? Do you see my PowerPoint now, right? SAT SAT test and the timing, the structure. And then we discussed the reading test and what are the kind of questions, what are kind of, first we started with what are kinds of passages, then we moved to what are kinds of questions. We discussed that I would take a question about big picture, the main point, then about details, the little picture, then inference, to make an inference, vocabulary and context, function, author technique. Where did we stop, girls? Data interpretation, can't you remember?
Miss, I think we took this because I
Yes.
remember you said that we read the introduction and the conclusion because we
Yes.
won't have time.
Yes, for which kind of questions? For
The
big picture questions.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we took all the kinds of questions, girls.
I don't think so, Miss
Yes, I
Fatima.
think so too.
It's because I also gave it to grade 11. So, wait, I'll tell you what did we take. I couldn't find where did we stop. You cannot remember, girls? Okay. The kind of questions we will take in SAT.
I think, Miss, we took the big
Yes, we
picture main
yes we
point.
took.
You
The
took
author
big
technique
picture,
and the
okay.
others, I don't remember we took that.
Okay, so girls, we type of questions in SAT test. Number one, he will ask you about the big picture. What's big picture? What is the main point? He will ask you about the main theme, the main idea of the passage. That's why we have to go back, read the first 10 lines of the passage and the last 10 line of the passage. Why? Because there we find the main point of the passage and repeat it in the conclusion. The little picture detail, and then he will start asking me about details in the passage. Okay, so they will refer to specific line or two within lines. So if I have the passage here in front of me, here is the passage. So he asks me about the main picture, so I go and read the first 10, and go read the last paragraph. Why? Because the main idea will be in the first paragraph and in the last paragraph. Then he will start asking me questions, and he will determine for me the lines from line 20 to line 25. Find me the meaning of the word temper, for example. Okay. Okay, then we have the third kind of questions is inference. Inference is to make an inference. The answer is not written or not stated directly. I have to imply it. I have to figure out of it. I have to think of it. Okay, to figure out the meaning of it. Then vocabulary in context. Did we discuss the vocabulary in context? That sometimes the word has more than one meaning.
Yes, we did.
Yes, he gives you the meaning, a word, and he asks you for the meaning, and he gives you 4 meanings, 4 correct meanings, and there is only one most correct. Then the function. Did we discuss the function? What is this sentence doing? How this phrase? Yes.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yes. How this phrase doing? Or this sentence works or functions in the passage we discussed this, girls? Function questions, the similar to detail question, but specifically for a phrase or a sentence, and they want to know what is the effect of it. This is function. Then the author technique. We didn't take author technique, right?
We didn't.
Yeah. Author techniques questions are very important because he will ask you here to analyze and look how is it so related to literature. You will analyze what, teacher? He will ask you about author's tone, style, voice, attitude, or perspective. Tone, style, voice, attitude, or perspective. So you will be asked to compare author techniques. If you take this question of the 2 passages together, paired passages, he will ask you to compare the technique of the first author and the technique of the second author. Okay, the tone of the first one and the tone of the second. Okay, these are the kind of questions he might ask you about the author's technique. And then evidence support. What's evidence support? Textual evidence that we take in literature. The textual evidence. What's textual evidence, teacher? I'll find the answer written there. I find the answer written there. You remember in the test, he asks you a question, and then he asks you why. Now I remember. Now I remember we took this part because I told you that he then asks you why you choose this question, why you choose this answer. He asks you a question, and then you solve it. Question 8, he will ask you why you choose this answer in question 7. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. Some girls prefer to solve the evidence support and then they go search for the answer. Yani for example, why was Odysseus sad? For example, and we have 4 choices. 1, I picked the choice that there were suitors at his house. This is the answer I chose. Then he asks me in question number 8 why you picked up this question answer. Why you picked it? Is it written in line from 20 to 22 or from line to 20 to 24? And then you go search for the line that supports your answer. This is evidence support. You understand, girls? We took it in the literature test.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then data interpretation. He will give you a graph, but he will not ask you any mathematical questions. No, he only wants you to analyze it, read it, support your text. Are you going to sneeze? I can. This is the 3rd time I tried to sneeze and I failed. Okay, so data interpretation is when he gives you graphs and charts and asks you to interpret the information in this. Okay?
Yes.
These are kind of questions. The main focus, you see? Main focus. Here, the main focus, it means The whole passage here, the main purpose from line 1 to 10. With which of the following statement about his father would be narrator mostly likely agree? The narrator's opinion. Which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? This is the textual evidence. This is what we were just talking about, evidence support. Here, this is evidence support to the question 3. It can reasonably be inferred. So make an inference here, girls, make an inference. And which choice, again, evidence support, provide this answer. Okay, grade 10?
Okay.
How to study for SAT? Are you awake, girls? Or you slept, or you left, or where are you?
I'm here. We're with you.
Yes.
Sarah and Lujay? Where are other girls? Layan, Lin.
I'm talking.
Lilian, Kadra.
Yes, miss, we're here.
Okay.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Kadra, read ya Kadra, how to study for SATs reading.
How to study for SAT reading. Speed up your reading. With 5 passages and 2 questions in only 65 minutes, the reading section of the SAT asks you to cover a lot of ground and maintain focus for over an hour. Since you will get the reading section in one big chunk, you're responsible for balancing your time among 5 passages. You will have to read deeply yet efficiently and find that balance between working fast while still catching important details.
So I will not skip, I have to read and focus in the same time. This is called close reading, is when you read and understand and analyze because you don't have time. So he asks you to balance your time among the 5 passages because you will take the whole reading section for 56 minutes, almost an hour. So you'll take it all together. You have to balance your time. So you do not spend 20 minutes in the first passage and then you find yourself out of time for the last passage. So you have to balance it. First passage will take 10 minutes, second passage 10 minutes. They're like this. And from now, girls, when you start solving, you have to divide the timing. For each passage takes only 10 minutes. Okay, continue.
Rather than trying to cut each and every word, for instance, you might pay most attention to the introduction, conclusion, and transition between paragraphs and skip the rest.
Yes, I will read the introduction well, the conclusion well to get the main idea, and then I find the transition. Transition is at the beginning of each paragraph. Transition will tell me how the author shifts. What is he? Does he agree or opposes? Transitions, okay? And then you skim the rest. Skim is to read quickly. If there is any key details, key words, you circle the keywords. Highlight the keywords, important words. Yes?
Other students find it helps them to read the questions first so they know what to look for.
Yes. Some questions prefer to read the questions and then go and solve the passage. And read the passage. And you read the questions quickly and then they go. And some girls prefer to read the passage quickly and then they go the questions. I prefer starting with the questions. I prefer start with the reading introduction, conclusion, each question, go back to this passage. But each girl as she likes to. Thank you, Kadra. Layan Maghrabi, read this. Search for evidence.
Yes, miss. The SAT is meant to test you on skills, not knowledge.
Yes, this is very important, girls. You do not take a book and then he asks you in this book. No, he tests your skills since you were in grade 1. So you know the skill of analyzing literature, you know the skill of finding the meaning of unfamiliar word, you know the skill of making inference. These are skills you have to learn, not books you have to study. Okay.
Yes. You don't have to know anything about a topic before answering questions on it on the reading section. In fact, having pre-existing knowledge could even get in your way. Rather than asking you to recall facts and figures, the reading questions are entirely based on passages. As such, your answers should be based directly on the words in front of you. When you choose
yes, you will not find the answer from anywhere else. Oh, the answers are written in the passage.
Make sure you can point to specific lines as evidence that your answer is the right one.
Yes, you can point specific lines as evidence to your answer is the right one. The lines. Okay, continue.
And they will look at the lines or no? The lines
Who will
are
look at the lines?
Never mind, miss, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, the new evidence-based questions on the SAT are, in some sense, a blessing in disguise. They serve as a useful reminder that all of your answers should be based on the words in front of you. Evidence support questions explicitly ask you to provide the lines that served as the basis of your answer to a previous question.
The kind of questions I've just shown you. You answer and then he comes back to ask you, how did you know that this is the answer? How did you know this is the correct answer?
Yes. Even if reading a question is not followed by one of these evidence support items, it's a good idea to do the same sort of mental check. Ask yourself, what am I basing my answer off of?
Yes, even if he doesn't ask you an evidence support question, you ask yourself, from where I get this answer? How did I get this answer? Because girls, again, answers are in the passage, whether stated or implied, but most of the time they are stated.
If you think you're answering based on anything other than the words in the passage in front of you, then you might want to double check your thinking.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Layan. Layan, فضل. Layan is not here today. I didn't hear her voice since morning. Okay. Okay, Ragad.
Yes, miss.
Read Ragad.
From the beginning.
Yes.
Use process of elimination. While some questions will be easier than others, most have at least one answer that's obviously wrong. Using process of elimination to 0 and 1 and on the most reasonable answer can be helpful strategy in the reading section, especially in situations where you feel unsure. While some questions may feel subjective because they ask you to make an inference or evaluate an opinion, they will always only ever have 100% correct answer. All of the other answer choices, even if they seem reasonable upon first read, will be problematic in some way.
Yes, what he wants to say here, he wants to say that if you do not know the answer, try to eliminate two. Try to eliminate two. The two far answers, eliminate them, and then keep your mind and focus your mind on two only, in two choices only. One of them, the two are correct. One of them is 100 correct. The other choice may be correct, but it will cause problematic after that. But it is only one. So what do I do, teacher? Eliminate. Eliminate two. Yani now we are facing a question that you do not find the answer of it. Try to eliminate the far away answers, and then focus with the rest of the two. And then what do you do with the rest of the two? Continue, Ragad.
If the right answer doesn't pop out to you right away, try to use process of elimination to look for these errors in logic. It should help you narrow down your choices by at least one or two. If you really have no idea or are spending too much time on an answer, at that point you could at least make an educated guess.
At that time, I have only two answers. I'm not sure which one is correct. Make a guess. Any guess. Guess. Okay, I'll choose B. That's it. Make a guess. Try it, but do not leave it empty. Okay? If you make a mistake, they will minus the mistake and one with it. But now the rights only scoring means, continue.
The rights only scoring mean that you won't lose any points with the wrong answer, so you have a better choice of upping your score than you would if you left it blank.
Yes. Thank you, Ragad. Study multiple meaning words. Study multiple meaning words.
Madam,
How? Yes.
Miss, I didn't understand the last sentence. Is it better to choose anything even though I'm not sure of?
Yes,
rather
rather than leaving it empty.
than,
Do not leave it empty. Maybe you get lucky and the answer is correct.
But teacher, if I wasn't lucky and it was wrong,
It's okay. Nothing will happen.
but would it be better to leave it without an answer?
Why?
Like, if I wasn't actually like confused between two answers, if I didn't know anything about the question, and the possibility of having a correct answer is very low, so is it better to leave it with no answer, or
No, dear, it is better to leave it with an answer. Okay, what will happen? Maybe your answer is correct and you'll get the mark. But if you leave it blank, you don't have any chances that you get the mark.
Oh, okay.
Okay, before if you solve it wrong, he will take a correct one. So they when you do not know the answer, you leave it empty. But now no, it is better to solve it. Maybe you get it smart.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Study multiple meaning words. Malak Wasim, read.
Yes, miss. You'll find words in context questions after every passage on the reading section. These questions ask you to define or give a synonym for a word from the passage. The catch: you have to understand how the word is being used in a specific line. Do I read the next point?
I will find words in the passage, and he asks me about the meaning of the word. Okay, so I have to understand how the word is being used, because he will give me meanings in the choices. The 4 of them matches the word. 4 of them are synonym to the word, but only one matches the text. Continue.
All of the answer choices might be reasonable synonyms for the word under consideration. You need to understand the connotation of the word in its particular context.
What is connotation? Connotation is the feeling you get when you read the word. Okay? Not the denotation is the meaning in dictionary. Connotation is also important because it helps you to understand the meaning of a word in the text. Yes.
You won't encounter particularly obscure or high-level vocabulary terms. Instead, the words will be relatively common, but they'll likely have different meanings in different contexts. You can prepare for these questions by studying relevant vocabulary lists and sharpening your ability to divine the meaning of a word based on context clues.
Yes, here. Then, thank you, Malak. Brush up on
You're
literary terms. So here, girls, we agree that the different meanings in different contexts, the same word, but it has different meanings. As we take in vocabulary. That's why in vocabulary, girls, we study the words, or we study the skill to analyze the meaning of a word.
The skill.
Yeah. Brush up on literary terms. Dana Wael. Dana Wael is not here today, or what? Jana?
Yes, miss.
Read, Jana.
Okay. While you won't encounter a ton of high-level literary terminology. Again, the reading section is meant to test skills, not knowledge or memorization. You should be familiar.
You will not memorize. The test, okay, is on your skill, not knowledge. You not memorize. We never memorize in English, girls. We learn how to get the answer. We learn how to analyze, how to get the meaning of unfamiliar words. Continue.
You should be familiar with the basics. Review key terms like style, tone, attitude, and theme.
Literature. Yes, continue, please.
Even more importantly, make sure you understand how to describe those parts of a work of prose or nonfiction. To answer these types of questions, you need to be able to pick up on the theme, central argument, or overall tone of a piece of writing.
Yes. So here, I have skills to learn. Okay? Skills, not memorization. So even more importantly, make sure you understand how to describe those parts of a work of prose or non-fiction. Prose, like poems, okay? Non-fiction is the non-fiction articles or stories and this. To answer these types of questions, you need to be able to pick up on the theme, central argument, the tone. Where can you find all of these girls, idioms, terms, girls, literary terms? Where do you find all these literary terms, girls? In the literature, right? Hello?
Yes. Yes, teacher.
Okay, practice data interpretation. This is when I have a graph with the passage. When I get a graph with the passage, it is called data interpretation. Are you with me? Lujain, read ya, Lujain?
Practice data interpretation. One or more of the passages will be accompanied by a graphic. You'll be asked to interpret data from a graph, chart, or table. You might get a bar graph, line graph, scatter plot, pie chart, or table, and you'll need to know how to read it. Again, you won't need pre-existing knowledge on the topic, but rather the ability to comprehend information before you. You'll find these data interpretation questions on College Board's official practice tests.
So here is it, girls. When you and I download for you, you go. I upload for you the PowerPoint. You go and pick and click. So you go directly College Board's official practice test, and you open test and start at solve. You have to create an account on Khan Academy. Khan Academy is very important. It has like an agreement with the College Board. So you go to Khan Academy, okay? You can find books, okay? Press this link and it will open for you, or Prep Scholars Online. Okay?
Must I continue down or continue
Yes.
the same?
Continue, dear.
And Khan's Academy's online program. You'll also find them in prep materials from books or Prep Scholars online program. If you feel like you're running low on material, you might try practicing with ACT science questions. These will all represent scientific data, but they will give you practice interpreting data from graphics and relating it to accompanying passages. In fact, this skill will help you on the entire SAT, and you'll find data interpretation questions on the reading, writing, and math sections.
Yes, please, these links, you have to press on them, open them, and maybe next week we'll take the new writing topic. If we finish it, we will come back and open this, discover these sites together. But girls, if you are going to study or you take the SAT test, please subscribe in Khan Academy's online program and in the College Board special practice. Okay, continue, and you pick to go to ACT science questions and data interpretation questions. Okay, look here, I pressed it. It directly takes me, here is it. Where is it? Wait, I will share it. It doesn't see it. Oh, okay, next time, girls, I will share it so I do not waste the time. Let's go back to our... you see my PowerPoint, girls?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. We finished this, so you, after I upload for you, just try to figure to explore these sites, girls. Then the last thing is to read widely. In order to improve your SAT test degree, you have to read widely. What is read widely? How can I read widely? Lena Meher? Lena?
Yes, miss.
Read, Lena.
Okay. From the beginning?
Yes, read widely.
Okay. Finally, as the wise doctor thesis encouraged us read daily and read widely to enhance your critical reading and
Dr.
comprehension.
Seuss. This is a cartoon for Dr. Seuss. Yes.
The reading section doesn't just give you prose passages as you might be used to in English literature classes. It also gives you scientific and historical texts that are notification or argument based.
So you have to read daily and read widely. Read daily, be up to the news. Why be up to the news? Because the reading section doesn't just give you prose passages, as you might be used to in English literature classes. No, it gives you scientific and historical text. As we discussed previous time, you will get a passage about history, a passage about science, a non-fiction passage, argumentative passage. So in order to be aware of the topics, you should be aware of the topics. Okay, read. The more you read, the more you enlarge your chances to get better marks. Continue.
Practice reading from a variety of
genres. Yes, read historical fiction, read literary fiction, fantasies, non-fiction. Okay.
To get used to different styles, taking time SAT practice test will also help you sharpen your reading skills and get used to switching quickly between subjects and writing skills.
Yes, you have, when you start solving SAT, you have to practice in dividing the time among the passages, and you take for each passage, how we said, 10 minutes. So I know how to finish on time, how to switch from this passage to this passage. This passage was from literature, Greek literature. The second passage is about DNA. The third passage is about economics. So I have to know how to switch. Okay, then?
While it's more difficult to measure, your reading skills will only improve through frequent practice, and being a skilled reader is what doing well on the reading section of SAT is all about.
It's all about, yes. So a skilled reader. He doesn't test you in your knowledge. He tests you in your skills. You understand, girls?
Yes, yes.
I will upload for you. This is only an introduction of how to solve SAT and what is the SAT, how to improve in SAT, okay? When we have extra classes, we will start solving together. Okay, don't forget to create an account on Khan Academy, girls. Explore the sites I will upload for you. Okay. Bye, girls.
Thank you, Miss.
Welcome, girls. Bye.
Thank you, Miss. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Miss.